Hashtag goose egg for Sunyata.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
dude. I hear you on that. So hopefully that turns around. Um, on maybe a positive note here, just looking glass half full. Who would you say is the biggest surprise on your team, and also the biggest opportunity moving forward to blow up?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty happy with both Stevie Johnson and Andre Johnson. I wasn't sure what to expect out of them, but they've been pretty good every week. Andre Johnson's a little banged up right now, so I'm worried about that. But I'd say outside of those two guys, which were surprises, I need Lamar Miller, who's kind of the rookie kid in Miami, or Gerald Richardson, who just took over for Steven Jackson in St. Louis to start blowing up. It doesn't look like either of them are really stepping up at this point, but for me to have a decent season, I need one of those guys to do something.
And dude, just maybe to refresh some of the guys that haven't been following it closely. I know everyone's super busy. What has Lamar Miller done so far?
Nothing.
Like what did he do last
I mean,
week, point wise?
He's pretty much in a split set with what's his name? I forget who the other running back in Miami is, but really has done five points a game.
Okay, so he's about 5 points a game then. All right.
Yeah.
So you would need him to turn it around to turn the fortunes around for the team then. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, and Dale Richardson's been a little bit better before he got injured.
Right.
But he's in that kind of 10-point range.
Okay. So pretty average so far. You would need those guys to bump it up, start getting TDs, and get that into the teens in order to probably take Aussie down, I would think.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, dude. And at this point, I mean, as we touched on, your team's 0-3. It's still early. There's still plenty of time left. What would you say, though, I mean, with being 0-3 to turn things around, I mean, what is your strategy? Are you turning more towards trades, waivers? Are you going to wait shit out? Like, what is your thought process?
To be honest, I'll probably give it this week. If I lose this week, I'll probably put some guys on the chopping block. I think my biggest trade potential right now is Brandon Marshall and Doug Martin. And you might see those guys, in some trade situations, in the next few weeks if things don't turn around.
Okay. All right. And as far as, I mean, you did kind of touch on this as far as Aussie's team, but I mean, what would you put if you had to throw a percentage at it as far as going up against Aussie this week? How confident are you?
100%.
Okay, so you're taking Aussie's fucking going down.
Yeah, Aussie's 100% losing.
Okay. I like it.
I'm willing to take that from anyone in the league about that.
All right, and as far as on kind of a different note here, but to touch on some teams that are some NFL teams that are struggling, that you wouldn't expect to be struggling right now. To name a few, the G-Men, the Steelers, the Niners, and the Redskins. What are your thoughts on those teams?
Well, the G-Men, I think, are fucked. I think they're just too banged up, and I don't know what their deal is, but my roommate's a big Giants fan, and he had told me to pick up Kansas City's D this week if he could, and they're playing the Giants, which shows you how bullish everyone is in New York about them. So I'd say the Giants are pretty much fucked at this point. I think the Steelers never really were supposed to have a great season. They don't have any running backs. They're kind of a mess across the board. And then, I mean, I don't know, the Redskins I don't really know anything about, so.
Well, maybe a better question would be, dude, what do you think about the fact that, I mean, RG3's done okay fantasy-wise, but they're struggling. And then as far as Kaepernick goes, I mean, Kaepernick's flat out struggling. Like, he was on...
I think SF will get it back on track.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's just in a down slump. I think they have a game coming up. I think they're playing St. Louis, actually. I think they'll get a big win tomorrow in St. Louis, and I think they'll turn it around.
All right. And no, I would agree. I mean, I think anybody that that has Kaepernick, if you're going to start him any week, I would say that it would be against a division opponent like St. Louis, even on the road, because he is just so frickin' due for a big game at this point.
Yeah, he knows it, and the team knows, and I think they're gonna be ready to go this week.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely put my money on the Niners to cover comfortably tomorrow, whatever that might be. As far as more on the league side of things, dude, what would you say is your favorite thing about this fantasy league?
My favorite thing, well, it's definitely not your blog. I'd say.
Well, of course not.
There's a lot of draft and the banter week to week, no matter who you're playing. I think is my favorite part about it. So it's good to stay in touch with everyone and have healthy competition. And of course, having a lot of drafts to get fucked up with everyone is always great.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree, 100%. And as far as if you were to, just forecast over the course of the next, kind of long term, maybe the next 2 to 5 years, have you thought about any potential changes, any updates, anything that you think we could do to make the league better?
No, I mean, as long as we can get Jay Reed to stay, I didn't like how we kind of were fluctuating between people the last few years in that spot, but I don't think there's anything we need to do to make this league any better, to be honest.
Right. So keep it where it's at. Keep the live drafts going every other year minimum. And as far as our 12th man, obviously the issue with Glenn there, just make sure that Jay, which I would imagine that he is in it for the long haul.
Yeah, that's it.
Agreed. All right, dude. And at this point, I did want to ask, because I know there's been talk back and forth on this. As far as the Yahoo changes, what are your thoughts on the change to the Yahoo website, the updates to the app, and what do you use more often to manage your team?
Yeah, I think the updates are good. I use my phone and the app for most of the news, but I use the web to make all the big changes. Right. But I think I looked at the ESPN app, and it's actually way cooler than Yahoo.
Oh, really?
A friend of mine uses it, and I had a chance to play around with it, and it's just a much cooler app with a lot more information, a lot more news, just more sophisticated than Yahoo. So I would think it would be something worth taking a look at next year. But yeah, I think we've been with Yahoo long enough. I think the changes are good. So
okay,
no need to change.
Okay, so stick with it, but maybe there's some things that Yahoo could improve on as far as overall news and updates and things like that.
Yeah, I think it might be worth looking at a change if Yahoo doesn't do better next year.
Okay. And dude, as far as the live draft was concerned, what did you think about as far as the location and what we did, that kind of the timeliness of it, at what point of this year that we did it? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think we need to always do it so we can get to most people there. I think that's the most important part, but I'd like to do it in a place that's maybe a little bit more fun. I mean, it was Bro Weekend and Lax Weekend and Placid, which had a lot of people there, but not a lot of people that were, people we wanted to be around. So I think we need to be a little bit more picky about where we go. But I think the number one prerequisite is as many people as we can get there. That's what we need to look at.
Definitely. And I agree, dude. I mean, as far as getting 11 out of 12 guys to be there,
that's solid. And
I mean, that's amazing. And especially for a location like that where it took a lot to get there for most people. But
it's pretty much the most inconvenient place in the country to go.
I had a good time. I think everybody did too. But I mean, glad that we went. We'll have to see. Any suggestions as far as potential next spots? I know Eddie's.
Vegas.
What's that?
Vegas.
What about Eddie's place for Nashville?
Yeah, I'll put that as second.
Okay. All right. So Vegas would be one for you then.
Yep.
To just totally amp it up. All right. No, I'm down for that. And dude, finally here, your typical Sunday. I mean, you're obviously going out, getting crazy Saturday night. What's your Sunday look like?
I get up, I grab the computer, check the injuries, check the matchups, set the team, get breakfast, and just get ready. And I spend 7 hours of red zone.
7 hours straight of red zone. What are your thoughts? What would you say is the best game of the week usually? Like between, I would say, the Sunday, Thursday, and Monday night games.
I like Thursday because it gets the week kicked off. It gets me excited about what's going to happen and throw some points in there. So I usually, I like the Thursday games a lot, but depending on the matchups, the Monday games can be great. So
yeah. All right. Well, dude, I appreciate the time and I appreciate the feedback and your thoughtfulness on these questions. So. This is going to be the first episode of KGeo Sports Talk, but wanted to thank Angier for taking the time tonight.